Al-Qaeda bomb plot foiled with the U.S. with the help of a double agent. How will this investigation affect the Obama administration and the presidential race? Republican Congressman Dan Lungren of California is on the Homeland Security Committee. Democratic Congressman Peter Welch of Vermont is on the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Gentlemen, in this weekend's New York Times, Charlie Savage reports that leaking is not illegal. And he wrote, quote, "Many people are surprised to learn that there is no law against disclosing classified information in and of itself." Congressman Lungren, I am one of those individuals who was surprised to hear that news. What is the law in this regard?
Well, you don't have a right to declassify information. There are strict rules set up for classified information, particularly of the level that we're talking about, revealed, if true, in these articles, particularly the one dealing with the effort on cyber attack with Iran. There are criminal laws that can apply. We don't know all the facts involved here, but the thing that is most disturbing is that if that program went forward as was described, if that is true, that was good for this country, but no good comes of revealing it and revealing facts with respect to it, no more so than when you're talking about something that could reveal a double agent. These are serious issues. These are deadly issues. These are issues that go to the national security interests of the United States, so no one should take it lightly. And frankly, I'm pleased that we have two prosecutors that have been named. I'm not a big fan of special prosecutors because I've seen that abuse in the past, but I applaud the Attorney General for appointing these two, and frankly, it's their reputation at stake, not the Attorney General's, as to how they follow the leads in these particular cases.
And Congressman Lungren, is the suspicion, do you share the suspicion that there's a political, perhaps, motivation here to make the president look strong with regard to the war on terror?
Well, as someone who's investigated criminal cases in the past, you have to look at what the evidence is, and thus far, that which appears, at least in public, can lead to no other conclusion than this helped in a political way the President of the United States. That doesn't mean the President was involved, but there is there's no reason for someone to reveal it. It doesn't help our interest. It hurts our interest. It harms people involved. It makes us less secure rather than more secure. And one of the things that's most troubling is if you read these reports, they suggest they had multiple sources, and if you read the level of detail that's involved, these facts, if they are in fact facts, would suggest that you had to have some people at the highest level to either initiate that information or to confirm it. That's what's very troubling as far as I'm concerned.
Congressman Welch, I guess if I'm reading the tea leaves from a distance, I say the president doesn't need help in this regard. In other words, his record relative to the war on terror, the successful mission to kill Osama bin Laden, the increase of the drone attacks, the willingness to go into Pakistan despite the sovereign status of that country, it's illogical to me that someone acting on his behalf would think that they need to trump up his muscles in that regard. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's exactly right. You know, I half agree with Dan, and in fact, the President agrees with Dan, and the point is that you cannot be leaking classified information. That's number one. Number two, this President has been extremely aggressive, actually to the chagrin of many Democrats, because he's initiated 6 prosecutions for leaks, and all the presidents who preceded him only did 3. And then the third thing, this really goes to the point you just made. You know, Senator McCain's calling for a censure or I guess a resolution in the Senate. Basically, that's to divert attention from the fact that the foreign policy has been very aggressive in the Obama administration. Iraq, we've brought our troops home. Afghanistan, they're coming home. Osama bin Laden has been taken out. And, of course, the President has an aggressive policy on the use of drones. So if you can't criticize the policy, make something up that's a diversion.
Congressman Lungren, Senator John McCain commented on the possible source of the national security leaks. Here's what he said.
It's obvious on its face that that this information came from individuals who are in the administration. The President may not have done it himself, but the President is certainly responsible as Commander-in-Chief.
And then this morning, Obama campaign senior advisor David Axelrod pushed back. He said the following.
Well, I don't know where they came from, Charlie.
Was it in the White House?
Absolutely not. The last thing that he would want, the last thing anyone in the White House wants, is to do anything that would jeopardize those missions or jeopardize those Americans. So he's as outraged about as any.
So, Congressman Lungren, what are the politics of this? Might the investigation that's about to take place cool this situation, politically speaking, or can you see it inflaming it?
Well, look, this is probably not the answer you want, but I frankly don't care about the politics. I care about the actual facts, the substance of what's happened. This has hurt the national security interests of the United States. Now, either the New York Times was lying when they say that the kinds of things that they put in there were they received from people within government and had it confirmed by people in government, or in fact they're telling the truth. If you look at the level of detail, if you look at the decision making that is articulated in here, described in here, it has to come not from mid-level officials but from higher up officials. That's what's so concerning to me. Politically, you look at it and you say, why would someone do this? It doesn't advance the interests of the United States. It does make a more personal political positive for the president. And so I'm not saying the president did it, but somebody did it for some reason. They didn't just seek out the New York Times or someone else to let them know for no reason whatsoever. I presume there was some motivation involved. I happen to think that is the grossest kind of political nonsense that harms this nation, and we ought to get the bottom of it. I don't care how high it is. We ought to find out who it is, and they ought to be punished, because this does, in my judgment, risk lives of Americans, and particularly risk lives of those who assist Americans around the world. It is going to put a negative impact on those who wish to help the United States or would wish to help the United States if they don't think that we can keep our mouths shut. It is that simple.
Congressman Welch, please take 30 seconds for a quick response, and then we're out of time.
Well, the president agrees. I mean, he is absolutely adamantly opposed to any leaking of classified information, and he said very explicitly that that can jeopardize operations and jeopardize national security and jeopardize safety. So he's on the job there. And the Attorney General has two crack assistant U.S. attorneys to do that, or U.S. attorneys to do this. So there's agreement there. Where it goes off the rails is when you get into this motivational speculation that is obviously self-serving, and where you're saying that the president or somebody on his behalf did it to bolster a reputation that actually doesn't, on foreign policy, need bolstering.
Thank you both. Thank you, Congressman Dan Lungren and Congressman Peter Welch. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And I mentioned at the top of the show that Chris is out at Mount Rushmore. He's doing a promotional shoot for MSNBC. And